today as we explore why some people stay in our minds and the hidden lessons they teach us. There are moments when a question lingers in the heart, refusing to leave until we have lived its answer. Recently, a dear friend of mine asked me something that stayed with me long after our conversation ended. That word stirred something deep within, much like the way certain people remain in our thoughts long after they have left our lives. Why do some people occupy our minds so persistently? What is it about them that keeps pulling us back, even when time and distance have taken them far, far away from our reality? I felt compelled to share this because I too have wrestled with these questions. And in seeking their answers, I uncovered something that transformed the way I see love, longing, and the nature of the soul's journey. The people who linger in our minds do not do so by accident. They are mirrors of the soul. The presence is a reflection, a message from the deeper layers of our being. Though they are real individuals, our minds often elevate them into something beyond their human complexity, turning them into symbols, vessels carrying meaning we have not yet fully understood. At the core of our attachment is often a desire for deep connection, for vulnerability and self-expression. This person, while real, may embody a part of our psyche that is seeking love, that is seeking acceptance, or even intimacy in a way that hasn't yet been fully explored. I remember times in my life when I adored certain qualities in others. The way they spoke, the way they moved through the world with grace, the depth of their wisdom, the warmth of their presence, their laughter. And for the longest time I held on to them, thinking it was them I needed, thinking that it was them I missed. But then in a quiet moment of self-discovery, I began to see those very same qualities awakening in me. The beauty I loved in them had been a reflection all along, a hidden part of myself waiting to emerge. And that was when I really understood that the qualities I sought in them were never separate from me. They were signs guiding me back to the realization that I already carried within me what I had once believed it was outside of me. What we focus on in our inner world inevitably shapes our outer reality, and we covered this in previous videos. Every lingering thought, every deep emotion we associate with someone is not just a passive experience, it is creative in nature. When a person stays in our mind, we are not merely remembering them, we are actively sustaining an energetic connection with them through our attention. The state of being we hold when we think of them, whether we are longing, admiring, in pain, or in love, becomes a living force within us, shaping the circumstances of our lives. Many remain trapped in the illusion that what they seek is external, that love, completion, and fulfillment exist outside of them in another person. But the truth is, everything we experience is first imagined, is first felt within. The mind, in its deep creative power, externalizes what it impresses upon itself. If we believe someone else holds the key to our joy, we unconsciously affirm our own lack. If we hold them in our thoughts as a source of longing, we sustain the feeling of separation. But if we recognize that every person we have ever loved is merely an expression of something already within us, we begin to reclaim our power. The love we thought belonged to them was always ours. The qualities we admired were only echoes of our own potential waiting to be realized. When we shift from yearning to knowing, from seeking to being, something miraculous happens. The energy we once poured into external attachments returns home, and we begin to radiate from the completeness we once searched for outside of ourselves. Carl Jung believed that archetypes are formed through the interactions between our inner world and the outer world, shaping how we relate to others and ultimately to ourselves. As we move through life, we encounter different archetypal figures, each influencing the course of our personal development. The person who constantly occupies our thoughts might be acting as a mirror, reflecting back a role that we're subconsciously trying to play out. They may represent an aspect of our own growth or a quality we are learning to integrate into our lives. Whether they appear as the warrior, challenging our limits, or as the victim, triggering feelings of powerlessness, or even the shadow confronting our darker self, they are all trying to teach us something about who we are and who we are becoming. But what happens when the real person becomes frozen in the role of an archetype? When we idealize someone to the point that they no longer feel human but rather symbolic. In these cases, we lose sight of their individuality and instead we start projecting onto them a set of expectations and desires. This is where the danger lies. When the person in our mind is no longer allowed to be a full, complex human being, but becomes an archetype in our psyche, we might find it hard to accept their flaws, their imperfections, or their inevitable changes. This projection often leads to so much disappointment, as the person can never truly live up to the idealized version we have created for them. However, the true lesson lies in recognizing this pattern and learning to embrace the complexity of others and ourselves, instead of relying on simplistic one-dimensional images. The people who stay in our thoughts aren't just part of our past. They often play a crucial role in shaping our inner world. When someone constantly occupies your thoughts, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, as though your mind is trapped in a loop of endless contemplation. The first step to freeing yourself from this mental prison is to understand that these persistent thoughts are not necessarily a sign of weakness or obsession. They are an invitation. An invitation to explore deeper layers of your own psyche, to understand why this person continues to linger, and to uncover the unresolved emotions and attachments that are keeping you tethered to them. The journey of self realization is about becoming fully aware of the inner reality you are creating. If someone continues to appear in your world, whether in memory or in dreams or recurring encounters, it is because there is a lesson yet to be learned, an aspect of yourself yet to be embraced. If you can shift your focus from the person to what they represent, you will begin to integrate the missing pieces within yourself. The longing will fade, not because they have left your thoughts, but because you have found within you what you were seeking in them. And so, to deepen this understanding, I will invite you to take a note of these questions that I have wrote down, and in your own time, just reflect in what they bring to your mind as you explore them further. So, the first question is, what specific qualities do I admire or long for in this person? Next question, where in my own life can I embody these qualities more fully? Have I projected an idealized version of them rather than seeing them as they truly are? How does my attachment to this person reflect something unresolved within me? What would happen if I released my need for them to be a certain way and instead embraced my own inner completeness? How can I transform this longing into a path of self-discovery and growth? So I invite you to just write this down, and if you want, you can email me and I'll just send them to you. And take a moment to reflect on them. And whatever comes, you're more than welcome to share, and we can explore this topic further. So, the people who stay in our minds are not just lingering in our thoughts by accident, they are carrying messages, lessons, and reflections of deeper parts of ourselves that are asking for attention. By understanding the unconscious connections, the projections, the emotional bonds, and archetypes at play, we can free ourselves from the patterns that hold us back, and we can start regaining emotional balance. So instead of longing, embrace. Instead of clinging, integrate. Instead of seeking, remember. Everything you ever loved in them was always and will always be within you. Let this be your reminder that growth is a journey, and every experience, no matter how persistent, is an opportunity to awaken more fully to who you are. Until next time, keep reflecting, keep growing, and keep embracing the journey within. And so it is.